Mastercook Zambia, your premier cooking competition. Previously on Mastercook Zambia, our contestants showed off their impressive brag sheets and shared their high-profile clientele lists. They then split into their teams and got busy in their kitchen while our guests arrived to enjoy a fabulous dinner at Casa Portico. Tonight, we will see if they live up to their standards, and the judges will tell our presenter what they expect.
Let's take it to the max. A quality product from Californian Beverages.
When you think water, think Aquamax. Aquamax, healthy drinking water. A product from Californian Beverages.
Welcome to Mastercook Zambia, your premier cooking competition. Welcome back to Mastercook Zambia. Two of our judges, Pixie and Alessandra, appear engrossed in a foodie conversation while dinner guests chat over their meals. But who will be the winner of the grand title? Oh no, looks like a bit of trouble with one of the desserts as a gentleman pushes it away and tries another.
In terms of presentation, I think they're on the spot. In terms of portion, okay. I would have done it more. Temperature, flavors were nice. There was enough variety on the menu. I think it was a good enough. I picked the beef dumplings for the starter, the beef made, and then I wanted to taste the pumpkin cheese cake. They ran out of it, so I ended up having the lemon cheese cake. More like sponge cake actually.
I think on our table we've had a good evening. We've had fun, that's for sure. And I think what's nice is it's something different, something out of the ordinary. We all go to restaurants, we all eat, we all think we're great cooks. And what's better than mom's cooking? And it's nice to come out here and sample where the Zambian food scene is. It's nice to see chefs from around the country. That's great. I think obviously, running a kitchen, you chefs in a new kitchen with new dishes that waiters aren't used to. I think that's been a challenge, and I think it's going to be a learning curve. But that aside, I think it's been a good evening. Some of the highlights, the tomato bisque. I think everybody, certainly that tasted at our table, that was the winning starter. But it's always difficult. Tomato soup, if you like, or bisque. You wouldn't know where to hide. Presentation, okay, it wasn't fantastic. It was a bowl of soup, but the flavour was really good. I think that's the overriding experience we had. In terms of the main courses, I think the things that stood out were the beef medallions, and I think the first few portions that came out were plated really well. I think what happened as the kitchen got a bit crazy, presentation wasn't quite as good as it was at the start. Maybe the meat had been sitting on the pass longer than it should have been, so a bit dry as we got on during the evening. But again, a couple of low lights, the beef dumplings at the starter. I don't think anybody on our table, if I remember rightly, if I refer to my notes, actually no, it was the shrimp. The shrimp in the starter, for taste, it's got 0 out of 5. So I think, the shrimp, as far as we're concerned, was not a winner. In terms of dessert, I think definitely the strawberry cheesecake is a real winner. But I think, yes, we've had fun, we've had some good food, we've had some bad food. But that's part of it, and I think part of the challenge is managing the kitchen, managing all those things. But it was a good start. It's a good start for Mastercook Zambia. We look forward to the next Mastercook, and it's exciting. We've had a great time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Caroline. For the starter, everybody at my table, all the dumplings on oyster mushroom, the best. I love the textures, I love the different flavors and everything that was put together came out to me. The presentation was stunning. I love that. But it was a mixed bag on the table. Different people like different things. I had the fusilli and prawns. I thought that the portion was lovely food, the flavoring was lovely and everything. But the portion was oversized, couldn't finish all of it. And then for dessert I had the strawberry cheesecake. And I tasted also the lofi. I found it slightly bitter. I think the caramel was very bitter. I couldn't eat that. And then the pumpkin cheesecake, the texture of the cheesecake itself wasn't sweetened. There was no sweetening in it, and it had lumps. It was not sweet. It didn't have a smooth consistency. Yeah, and some of the people like the pork, but most of them like the beef.
Finally, somebody talking about the food they just ate.
Okay, basically my first impression when I looked at the presentation was really lovely, but when you start dissecting the plates one by one, you start to see the different elements. You see some of the chefs coming out and some of them lacking in some elements.
Starting from the starters, what was your favorite starter?
I think the soup really did it for me. The bisque, I think, was lovely. Some of the people I sat with talked about it and said it was good. It was beautifully presented, it was nice and creamy, and I think all the flavors were in there.
And which dish would you critique the most?
I will have to say the beef, because it was a beautiful cut of beef, tasted very soft, but all the other elements put together, it went wrong. The potato roasty was cold, not cold. I think there was too much time in there, and it just messed up the dish a little bit. But when we go to the pork, because I did try with the people that I sat with, I tasted a bit of everything. The salsa was amazing, the potatoes were very nice, and the pork belly itself, I think, really had it for me.
Did you taste the chicken when the substitution was made?
No, unfortunately no. We managed to get the portion.
Okay, great. Moving on to desserts.
The strawberry cheesecake was amazing. It was soft. I ran through it very nicely garnished. I enjoyed that. Then I tasted the banoffee pie as well. The flavors were good, and when you put it together, the cream, the banana, the caramel that was on it, it was really nice. But then the crust was too hard. You really had to struggle to break through it. But once it went into your mouth, it was a very nice dessert.
So across the board, what would you say the levels of creativity were? Were there any interesting twists on any of the plates that you noticed?
Well, I would say with the desserts, I think people really worked hard to get things together on the desserts. Initially, I got a bit thrown away with the starters because I had the shrimp and papaya salad, and I think the papaya was too strong for the shrimp. But when we moved on and I saw the dishes that were coming out after that, I see a lot of creativity, and I think in the country we're getting to a level where food is really appreciated and there's a lot of passion and drive. It's just a little bit of a tweak that one or two people need to add to it, and then we'll be home. It's just that little tweak that we need to get to.
And what was the table's overall impression of the evening?
The evening was very good. We all had a good time. Service, on the other hand, was very slow. A lot of things not coming through. Don't forget this and that. So it kind of disturbs me. But when you have a lot of people around you, it becomes the love of the evening. But generally speaking, I think 2-3 more events, we're getting there.
Thank you so much, Mwembe. Any last comments?
Well, let's do this. Zambia, we're coming. Food is happening in this country, and it's something that we really need to look forward to.
And in fact, talk us through your concept of your culinary school.
Basically, what I do, I study food and wine, and I'm a fine dining chef. But what I'd like to do is incorporate more local ingredients into what I'm teaching already, but now we are going more professionally rather than just the typical home cooks, people who are just passionate about food. Now we want to build more and more professionals and get the food industry to a different level. That's what it's basically about. Getting the food industry in the country to a level where anybody can come from all over and say, yes, this is it. And we must have our local Zambian food as well in case what we want.
An up-close peek at the desserts. My, they look delicious. Just hope that they're all fit for a president.
Aquamax Healthy Drinking Water, a quality product from Californian Beverages.
Hummingbird, nature's gift, a quality product from Californian Beverages.
As one of the judges of Mastercook, you're not just a judge, but you're also the owner of the restaurant we were cooking in yesterday. How do you think the teams performed in your kitchen?
I was quite impressed. All the team, they were working very well. I know it's very difficult to work with people you never worked before, and I think they did a great job. Honestly speaking, as a team, for me, it was the best team. Very good. They were working like they've been working together for a long time. Each one has its own task, and I think everything was perfect as a team. The last minute things to do, the way they managed to do, each one in his own way but together. Dara was a great team leader. He was able to control the group and give tasks to everybody, and the team was working perfectly.
Well, it looks like Daryl impressed her.
It's very difficult to be a team leader in the kitchen because chefs are not easy person, all of them. So a leader needs to know exactly all the skill of each person, and not to know each other is very difficult. So he has to have that plus to understand what each individual can do better. Okay, the strawberry, the dumpling, they were very good. Presentation was excellent. The pasta, I'm Italian, so I'm quite difficult in judging pasta. Was not such a great dish. The sauce was too much. The tomato was sour. The presentation was really plain. I think they could have done better. The dessert, the strawberry cheesecake, was excellent. I think that on pasta, the other dishes, they were quite
And we're back
good.
to find
There
out from
was
Alessandra
not too much
just
to do.
how the teams
But the
performed
pasta
in the portable kitchen.
it was quite a plain dish, you know. So you need to put your creativity in the presentation and the way you put the sauce, and it doesn't have to be overdressed because it looks like a red thing in the plate. So for me, it was not that bad, but as a team, they performed well. They were organized, but honestly, the team leader was not a leader. I think Chef Martin doesn't have that kick that you need to be a leader in a kitchen. As I was saying, you need to give tasks to people and give time to people. And I think maybe he doesn't have that power over people to make them do what he wants. It does affect, because the leader in the kitchen is what makes the kitchen work. Good. He's a character, so he gives a touch in everything, and you know, I think he keeps the team up even when they go down. So I think he did well. The food was good. There was a problem in the cooking of the shrimps, and I think the purple they used was too ripe, but it's not their fault. The pork was very good. Everybody was very happy with the dish. The banana toffee pie, or whatever you call it, it was good, but the crust was too thick. But the flavor, and considering the time, it was good. Was very good. They did well with the dishes, but as a team, they were not really communicating in the right, let's say, right way. When you start shouting to each other or not communicate to each other, it does affect the food. Although the food was good. For me, the soup was very, very good. It was perfectly balanced. The tomato was right in the sweetness and the sour. It was a very good dish. The beef fillet was a very good dish, very well presented. The problem was the cooking of the beef. Many people found that the two steaks were not cooked the same way and the same time. But it was a good dish. That was a complete failure. It was kind of a disaster. I don't know what went wrong with that, but it was not going together. There was something wrong in the not the crust, the sponge. It was not good. Definitely Team Darrow as a team, even if I didn't like the pasta.
And there you have it. Alessandra has picked Team Darrow for working together and pulling off a cheesecake, even if their pasta was a little Mamma Mia, like the movie and not the stage play.
Pixie, what was your impression of how the teams performed last night?
I think the team did their best. The presentation, I'm very, very big on presentation. And from what I saw last night, they really, really tried, apart from maybe one or two dishes, and I think they really put in their best. The dumplings, I really like the dumplings. I had that as my starter actually. And the herbs were nicely blended. It wasn't too overpowering, because when you have a lot of seasoning in a dish, it can be very, very overpowering. The dumplings were okay, the texture was fine, and the sauce was not too much. The mushroom was excellent. The pasta was horrible, I must say. to be quite frank. It's not something that I would eat. I tasted it, it had a lot of acid in it. Normally a pasta dish shouldn't have so much tomatoes. So I think that was really a wasted dish. The strawberry cheesecake was excellent. That was really, really beautiful, very tasty. I really, really like that. I would say that they were a bit late because normally it shouldn't take more than 15 minutes to save a dish. I think Team Darrell really did put in their best. The most important thing, you could tell that they were communicating because the dishes were excellent apart from the pasta. I think they really tried their best. Right, the prawn starter was nice and it was really nicely presented as well. That is Tim Martin Wembia. And the prawns were not overdone. That was an excellent dish, nicely presented too. That wasn't received too well. The pork was excellent from the comments that I received from the diners. They really, really liked the pork. And they were so disappointed that they ran out of pork because then it was substituted with chicken. And the chicken was very horrible. It wasn't nicely presented, didn't do anything for me. It actually looked like a dish from a pub. It wasn't a dish for fine dining. I didn't taste it. Normally, the first thing I look at is how a dish is presented because that attracts me to taste the dish, and that didn't do it for me, so I didn't even attempt to taste that. From the dishes, because I didn't have a chance to see them cooking, but from the dishes, I could tell that there may have been a bit of breakdown in communication, because when a team is communicating, everything turns out excellent. The banoffee was the dessert that they made, and I had that. It was okay, the taste was very good. It actually melted in your mouth, but what I didn't like was that the crust was too thick. The crust was really, really too thick, thicker than the topping. So for me, that didn't do it. Yeah, Chef Martin prepared the tomato. Chef Martin and his team prepared the tomato bisque, which I thought was absolutely amazing. I did get a few comments from the diners that some found it too sweet, but you know, we all know tomatoes are sweet, and naturally a bisque should have that sweetness to it. Not too much sweet, but I think they nailed it. Chef Martin's preparation of the beef fillet, that's what I had, by the way. That was very good. The presentation was tip-top. The only problem I had with the dish was that I normally prefer my steak medium rare. One of the steak was well done and the other steak was medium rare. The medium rare steak was excellent. I would say it was one of the best dishes. The lemon and mango cheesecake was alright, but not that good. There's something in it that really left an aftertaste in the mouth. I couldn't really put a finger on it. I can't point it out, but it had a funny taste and it left an aftertaste in your mouth. So that really put me off. I would say that Chef Martin M and his team were the best, because I tasted their steak and really everyone that ate the steak did give a good feedback on the steak. Despite, well, there are people that like well done meat, but for me the only problem I had with it was that one steak was well done and the other one was medium rare. Chef Martin M and his team really did best.
Fish fillet sticker.
It's in the juice. Just juice. Real juice. When you think water, think Aquamax. Aquamax Healthy Drinking Water, a product from Californian Beverages.
Welcome back to Mastercook Zambia. Before the break, we got feedback from Judge Pixie, who definitely didn't hold back on her opinions about the teams and their cooking. Ultimately, she decided that Team Martin M got her vote. Now let's catch up with our head judge, Nick Moyle.
Nick, you were the judge in the kitchen. What was your impression of how the teams performed?
The teams performed very well under the circumstances, because it's easy to tell that if the teams didn't perform, we would have had customers walking out, we would have had lots and lots of complaints. The food went out. The food went out, so I would say overall the teams performed well. The team was very organized. Team Darrell was very organized. They were working together, and they had a lot of creativity. I think in that team, I'm not saying the other teams were not creative, but I'm just making a note that Darrell's team, I think they had an advantage. I actually don't know. I mean, most of those guys come from Livingston. I know they come from different places in Livingston, but I don't know whether they secretly work together somewhere, but they seem to flow, you know. So I would say they work well together.
Not the first judge to say that. There seems to be a trend here.
I don't know now whether I'm jumping the gun or not, because when we actually give feedback to these guys, I would like to comment a little bit about their food. If it's not in an appropriate place, but the dumplings, to put together that size of a dumpling and the way it was presented, the skill and the aptitude that is required was just phenomenal. The two ladies who were working on the dessert seemed to just have come from the same hotel or restaurant, and they just flowed. I mean, that strawberry cheesecake was certainly the best dish of the whole night, according to me. Tim Martin B, you know, Martin B himself is not a strong, assertive leader. He didn't come out as a strong, assertive leader in the team, but he had good people. The likes of Wezi, the likes of Jamie, and he had some good people behind him. The starter wasn't great. Yeah, the shrimp salad, it didn't give the wow effect, because when you hear shrimp and papaya salad, if you're a foodie, you start having all sorts of wild expectations of this is going to be interesting. The pork was done well. But there wasn't enough of it. I think that's why we ended up doing the chicken. The chicken wasn't great. The chicken was the worst decision. We shouldn't have allowed that to happen. Because I think it's just a lesson that we learn, that we should have done something more creative than that. We should have planned a lot more. Team Martin M, they also did well as a team. Not as well as the first team that I talked about. I mean, but the beef was really their signature dish, and I think they put that together very well. There were a couple of issues in terms of consistency of how well done, if it's a rare or it's a medium, in terms of getting both pieces right was a bit of a challenge, and keeping that steak, the steak, because their presentation was a steak setup. And in my opinion, the team Darrell stood out as the winning team for sure, and I will say that for two major compliments: the starter and the dessert. The main course of Fusili, the serious flaws with the fusilli dish was there was too much sauce. You know, I mean, those who know about pasta will tell you you don't put so much sauce in a pasta. You know, the pasta is just the you have to taste the pasta, not the sauce. You know, that's how Italians eat, and so that let them down a little bit. But I would say because of the effort level that was put on the starter and the main and the dessert, they will still come up tops.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Looks like Nick and Alessandra are Team Daryl all the way, despite the inauthentic Italian pasta, while Pixie is pulling for Team Martin M and their steak stacks. Join us again next week when our judges sit down with the teams to give them direct
to our
feedback.
Session. And really the importance of this session is to work on the weak points and to know what we did well and what didn't do well.
The judges are in the hot seat as they give feedback to the chefs. Will they take it well? Or will this session be so intense that it goes up in flames? Find out on next week's episode of Mastercook Zambia.